Hey guys, welcome to Broad Street to Britain with me, Dave Shaw, and of course, as ever, I'm joined by Alex. I'm joined by Richard Skinner, but also we have a very, very special guest because we are joined for the second time on the pod. Last on the pod when he was just drafted in July 2022. I'm glad to say we are joined again by Gabriel Rincones. Gabriel, first of all, how are you, buddy?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm just enjoying this off day today.
What have you been doing your off day?
Nothing. Just eating.
He's just like me, for real. Just like me.
Honestly, I wish I was hitting right now, but
Does an off day slightly unbalance things? You're in such a routine day after day in spring. You're saying it's a rigorous program, and all of a sudden you have an off day. Does that slightly? Do you want to be back out there? Are you keen to be back on the field, hitting, shagging balls, and being out in the field?
I prefer just like hitting on my off day, and keeping that. I don't know. I just always want to hit, not necessarily do anything else, but I'm just itching to grab a bat. I don't know why. It's probably just because I want to work on stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Your spring has been amazing, my man. Like, it's been so good to watch you out there, to see your name popping up everywhere, and everyone's getting to know who you are. Your spring, for those who don't know, 22 at bats, an average of .227, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, and OPS of 1.029. You're out there, buddy. Everyone can see what you're doing. How's it felt for you? And has it come as a bit of a surprise to yourself? Or is this what you had in mind coming to spring? You're going to hit this hard. You're going to get yourself out there, because it's just amazing to see social media talking about you.
Just trying to play the game as best as I can, and not letting whoever I'm on the field with affect how confident or the lack of confidence that I show out there. So just kind of stays, being baseball. It's still baseball, no matter who's on the mound or who's in the same lineup as you. As big as those names are, still stays the same.
And what was your targets coming into spring? What are you beyond your targets at the moment? Are you exactly where you want to be right now? Still things you're trying to work on? Whereabouts are you?
To be honest, I don't know if I ever am among my targets. At least so far, I haven't. Maybe it just got set too high of a standard, but it's nice that people think that I'm having a great spring. But for me, it's hard for me to not think about all the negatives. So even when I have really good performances, I'm always thinking about, oh well, I didn't do this. So it's mostly when I reflect back, it's like, oh, I did pretty good there.
What are you say about the negatives? What are the negatives that go through your head? Do you literally microanalyze every single part of your game? What negatives do you come across?
Like if I'm getting good results, but I know there's something off in my swing, and I know what it is, and then I'll be really meticulous about that. Just because I know that long term, that's probably not a good idea to keep doing the way that I keep doing what I'm doing, because there's something off. I'm getting better against left-handed pitching. I'm seeing that a lot better. Now it's just how can I, do damage. So I'm not having the same issues or the problems I have with lefties, but now I'm just super anxious to do something that I'm over kind of forcing to happen.
Yeah, and it's interesting that Kyle Schwarber, the nickname Uncle Rico, saw you in your first BP. He was super impressed, and this is an ideal guy to be, in talks with, because another player who struggled against left-handed pitching, who had a great year last year against left-handed pitching, actually, who really found the adjustments and has really improved. What has he said to you? Because you two are sort of on a similar curve with the left-handed pitching. He's found a way around it. He's adjusted. What advice was he given to you?
Yeah. So the angle against a right-handed pitcher as a lefty is more open. So now you take a left-handed pitcher, maybe with a funky close off arm angle. Now it's kind of behind me, and I'm only using one eye to pick it up, and then now I'm using two, then I'm using one because I'm coiling, and then now I have to look over my shoulder to see where the pitch is coming. So it's just not the same. So now it's shifting over my body so that when I go get ready to hit, I'm using both eyes to track the ball away. So just
and how is that as for a personal thing? How is that? You've got Kyle Schwarber there. I know Weston Wilson's been over to you as well. The other big leaguers have made you feel very welcome. Has that just really like lit the fire even more? Of course it's there already, but are you now like, I want to be part of this group every day? This is where I want to be. I want to be in the majors playing for the Phillies. Has that just like accelerated things for you?
Yeah, I mean, being in the same, even looking at my name in the same lineup as them when I was over, when we played over at the Blue Jays place for the first time. I mean, seeing the regular lineup for the most part, with my name, fitted in there was good enough as it was, but to play well and then have them acknowledge it was even better. So now I'm just fighting every day so that I can, I'm chasing that feeling again so that I can make it permanent.
Absolutely. It must be cool as well that you're sharing it with your fellow minor league players as well. So you can go off into the minors now. You've all got that same buzz. Like Otto Kemp's had a great spring as well. Crawford's picked up now. You guys are all now going off into minor league. The desire with all of you, it must be a real pumped up group there.
No, for sure. And our time over there has definitely affected us in the way that we all share the same drive to want to be back over there and stay there. So that's something that I relate to them. I mean, it affects our on-field work and our off-field discipline as well. It's something that being around them and people that those players have been around for decades, literally, in the game at top level. So being around them, you just start, going about your business a little differently, a little bit more professional. And now it's time to bring that over to the affiliates so that you can, do the same.
Absolutely. Do you have any idea where you're going to start the season?
Doesn't really matter. Whether it be AA, AAA, still not the big leagues, but wherever league I'm in, I'm just gonna do my thing. So Lord knows when I get called up, but wherever I am, it's my job to, drive in runs and stay focused.
Absolutely. Because me and Richard are over in the end of June, and we're taking a Lee Valley game. So we're sort of hoping you're going to be in AAA, so we get to see you in action.
All the majors, obviously, yeah.
Or even the major leaguers, that would be awesome.
That would be the cool. But yeah, see you at Citizens Bank Park would be cool. But if not, Lehigh Valley.
But do you like hitting at Reading? Because from all the guys that I've talked to, hitting at Reading can be really fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big box. So. I actually try not to take BP on that field because
really,
it's just, home run derby for BP is not really the best thing for a game. So
yeah, I remember when Dylan Cousins and Reese Hoskins were playing at Baseball Town, for half the season. I don't know if you've ever met either of those guys, but that was unlike anything I've ever seen. They used to be called the Bash Brothers in Reading because they were just, they treated that ballpark like a little league field. And I feel like you kind of started to do the same last year. You hit some rockets, man. That one home run that you hit that landed on the street. What street was that? I don't know what the estimated foot was on that, but it was crazy. You can swing it there.
that was my last hit before I got surgery on my thumb.
Right. Well, I'm sure if you start there, you won't be there for long. I think Lehigh Valley's calling your name at some point. So
Is there any minor leaguers and major leaguers that you've got particular close bonds with? Did you or what I know I saw your Instagram post with Automatic. Love that, by the way. But is there any real good connections you've got there, like real special close bonds, or is it just generally you all such a well bonded group?
Yeah. I mean, name the most random name from any affiliate, and I could probably tell you that we're pretty close. I mean, it wouldn't be fair to everybody else if I just said 10 names, just because. I mean, I get along with so well with every single one of these guys. I mean, even on the big league side, like Mundo Sosa, Weston Wilson, Cal's a great guy, Matt Kern, Schwarber, Harper's a great guy. I mean, literally everybody.
That's great. Do you ever hear from any of the guys back over in Scotland from your time there, from Baseball Scotland or in the UK?
Not really. It's a 5 hour time difference, and I try to stay off of my phone for the most part. I'm not very good at even people that are on the same time difference as me. I'm not very good at reaching back out to people, which is not the best thing.
No, I was going to ask. We were having a discussion in the UK Phillies group chat a while ago, and we were just trying to we all worked out that what is involved in spring training camp. What is your day-to-day routine? What happens in a day? Because obviously we see you guys taking practice and going into games, but I remember you saying that you in a message that it's a rigorous day. What's involved in it? Give us an insight into life as a big leaguer in spring training as you've been.
Me personally, because I'm a guy that's I'm not even on the team, so I gotta get there a little earlier than everybody else, just that I'm not taking out the table time of a established big leaguer. That's not my place to be in their way. So they have their own routine. But for me, I'd get there around 6:30 in the morning. Table time at 7. Get help with any type of soft tissue, any type of inconvenience in my body. Get that ironed out before I get ready for the activities, and make sure I get in the ice tub. 2 minutes there, then 4 minutes, 5 minutes in the hot tub, so I get ready to go. And then after that, I just kind of prep my body, do some tissue work stuff, some early defense, some glove ISO, some glove work with Faco Figueroa in the outfield, and after that, I do some early hitting before. This is hopefully before report time, which is usually around 8:30, and then stretches at 10. Usually some meetings before stretch out in the field. Stretch, throw. Maybe there's some team defense, BP, and then usually have an hour before the game. So whatever you need to get in, maybe a nap, maybe some, another round of soft tissue, or maybe you just need to get locked in, listen to some music, go to the bathroom. I don't know, whatever. That's up to the player. And then a game at 1:00. And then after the game, if you want to get in the ice tubs again, I know a lot of people, are really good with that consistent discipline that honestly doesn't really feel good, but it's good for you. So
Yeah.
And then go home and try to get in bed before 9:00. That's really my most important thing for me. If I get in bed 10:00, 11:00, and have to get up at 5:30, toast.
That's like,
I think that's me out right there. Like you wouldn't get, I can't remember the last time I went to bed by 9:00.
Do you have a go-to playlist? Like who's on your pump up playlist?
I don't really have a set playlist, but
Okay.
sometimes I'll listen to Christian metal. sometimes I'll listen
Does that
to
exist?
yeah, because
Sick.
Every kind of metal exists.
Sick.
but that's usually my either morning or after the game music choice. But something just depends on the day. I'll listen to some rap. I'll listen to classical music. I'll listen to Latin music. It all depends on. It's usually a replay of whatever I felt best before a game. Like every day, I always replay it. But for spring training, it was Gunna for the most part before a game, and maybe some classical. That's not really working for me. And that's it. Yeah.
Sweet.
I think for me, I'm like a fairly new baseball fan. And like this is my first time like watching spring training and hearing like, oh, the results don't matter, the scores don't matter, etc. They're working on stuff from like an outside perspective. Could you like maybe, because you would think from maybe like with someone less knowledge, well, what does that? Sure, they're working on stuff, but yeah, their idea is to hit the ball and score. So what would that maybe mean? So if you're an at bat, what was say? Oh well, they're just working on one specific thing. What would that kind of look like?
So, because hitting is it's such a like you can do everything right and still not get the results you want.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you do everything wrong and go 4-4. But if there's something in your swing, say that for me, it's like my front toe comes up at contact, it's immediately gonna fly open. So if thinking something that I probably wouldn't think in a real season where all you have to do is compete, spring training is the time to try something out that you wouldn't do in season to see if it works. Because if you fail, it's spring training. The stats don't count toward your career, especially with the big leaguers that are paid 10, 20, 30 million a year. They're just tweaking on their already beautiful swings. And spring training is a time to do something that you probably wouldn't do in season, because it's like it's warming up for what really matters, what you're really getting paid for. You can hit, you can go 20 for 20 in spring training, but at the end of the day, it's not counting for anything. So for me, that's a little different though. For me, I'm still trying to prove to some people, trying to turn some heads, trying to stay consistent and prove that I am one of those guys. So people can tell me, hey, he sucks, or hey, he's really good, because it's not as much of that for me. It is a little bit. I'm working on this, I'm working on that, but not to the extent where it's like I know what I'm gonna do in season. It's like for me, I still got to invest in spring training for now.
Yeah. So would you say that that's like the kind of difference? Like, if you look at like Trey Turner this year, and I'm a big Trey fan. I'm not knocking on him. I think he's going to have a great year. But, he's not. He's started to hit recently, but his first few games he wasn't hitting at all. Would you say that's probably less of like an issue for someone like Trey, who's he's shown what he can do at that level compared to like someone like yourself, who's a younger guy coming in, where actually like yes, it's spring training, but you need to show sort of hitting a bit more.
Like Turner, look at his track record and look at my track record.
Yeah, I'm not like Trey's great. I'm not worried about the at-bats.
I totally get what you're saying, because being in the dugout and seeing a guy like that not really have the success that he has in season, it's a little bit of it's an eye-opening experience for me, because of the maturity that goes into it's not about not caring, because I know they all care like crazy, but it's like, for me, if I strike out twice, it's a little different for him, because he knows what he is. He knows how good of a hitter he is. He looks back and he sees a career of freaking awesome moments, and he knows like hitters hit. That's it. Like, hitters are going to hit. And so it's seeing him come back in the dugout and just brush it off and not change anything or tinker or it's awesome to see, because I know that that's how you start hitting it, and all of a sudden people are saying you're the best player in the league. But when you're going really bad, what are you doing? How are you handling that?
That's the really interesting part about baseball that I think a lot of people don't give enough credence to is the mental aspect of things. And I think that's the place where the big leaguers are the sharpest because you're right. They don't let those things affect them in the same way, right? They kind of allow themselves to stop spiraling before the spiral even happens because that's how slumps happen, right? And I think that that's something that I don't know. This is my first time speaking with you, but it already seems like to me your mental game is you're locked in all the time. Like you already see where you want to go. Um, and I think that's really impressive. But at the same time, I'm sure that that's something that, as a minor leaguer at the moment, that's something that you think about a lot, I'm sure. Um, do you ever really find yourself trying to hone that part of your game? Is that something that you constantly kind of feel like you're working towards, as well as obviously in the box, on the field, things like that? Is the mental game a big thing for you?
Yeah, it's honestly the one thing that kind of holds me back a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, just I don't know. I like to tinker. I like to
Hmm.
what's going to be the best swing, the best. Oh, how can I improve this and that? I mean, you can have the best swing and still put up terrible numbers, or you can have a terrible swing and put up amazing numbers because you're so single-minded, focused, and not thinking about a million things at once. So that's something that I'm working on top of all the other things. But I should probably put more focus on that than the mechanical stuff.
I don't know. It feels like to me, you're a confident guy, and I feel like you're playing your game, especially right now. Like you're playing your game,
Mm.
and you're such a well-rounded athlete, and I feel like that's something that flies under the radar a little bit. Like you kind of do it all, and I know it sounds like you just want to hit, but like you're such a well-rounded athlete that I feel like those are the guys that no matter how much tinkering you do, no matter how much you know work you put in to one certain aspect of the game, the athletic guys are always the guys that are going to kind of find a way to succeed. Um, so I don't know. That surprises me to hear, though. I'm very surprised by that because it seems like you're one track mind, motivated and all the things.
Thank you. And
Cool.
I'm really just I'm talking about more of a swing and stance and
Sure.
all that like nonsense that I put in my head, like, oh, let me try this, but really play it back and it looks the exact same swing. So
Mm.
It's
uh yeah.
it's been a lot of fun for us to watch you come through the minors. Since you were drafted, we had you on the pod. Me and Alex have been all over your short career so far, getting excited when you've gone on hot streaks. The injury obviously was a setback, but you've bounced back from that. Well, we think superbly, and the spring you're having so far, you've come in locked in. It's been amazing. Like it's been amazing that people are just for us. We're quite proud that we were on to you from the very start when you were drafted, and social media are now just like, who is this guy? It's exciting to see you hitting these bombs. It's great to have you on the radar. But for us, it's I don't know. We've taken a lot of pride, haven't we? Like we've watched your career closely. It's amazing to have you back on now for the first time since you were drafted, and just it would be just amazing to see you playing the majors for the Phil. And I'm excited. Like I'm tempted to, as soon as that announcement's made, I'm tempted to book some flights and get out there and see it for myself. I'm not joking. I need to be there. Just I'm really happy for you and your progress so far. And like Alex said, from all the interviews I've seen, you've come across confident. You've come across locked in. You're a man on a mission. You can see how much you've mentioned in every interview I've seen so far that your one goal is to be in the majors. That's where you belong. And I've got a good feeling about you, buddy. And I think you're on the right track. I think you're going to get there this year. Are you good for questions from the British fans? We've got some people dying to ask you some questions. I've got written down here. If you're good. Nothing too strenuous. So from Tom, he said, "Did you try any traditional UK sports while in Scotland, like rugby, cricket, and footy?"
Football. I thought, probably be a goalie if I hadn't come over here, or
Oh, really?
I'd be competing in judo, maybe in the Olympics. I did boxing, mostly those three.
Wow.
And then for the school, I played netball.
No way.
Didn't see that one coming either.
Sweet.
Wow.
Did you play any soccer in Miami, or not in Miami? You're from Dayton Beach. Is that right?
I was born in Boynton Beach, but I went to high
Beach.
school in Tampa.
Okay. Did you play any soccer?
Yeah, middle school, 8th grade. I think I scored about, I don't know, maybe, I could be wrong, 20 goals or 15
I was gonna say you
goals.
probably got a boot. You
Do it
probably
all.
got a boot.
Yeah.
You can pick it.
I was pretty judgmental about maybe the level of football here, because going from Scotland to here. Although Scotland's not, a contender for World Cup every year, but it's still, there's talent there more than there is here.
Yeah. I came from the UK to here when I was 7. And I think it was a little unfair to my little league soccer teammates, especially because my dad was the coach. I was playing at a pretty high level at 7 years old. I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, I don't do that anymore. But the disparity in talent is it's real.
Gary Potts wants to know which Scottish team did you follow, if any?
Rangers.
Ooh.
Yeah. But I had a lot of
Celtic
friends. I had a Celtic fan for friends, and one of my friends was St. Johnson fan. But no, Rangers. Yeah.
You still follow it? Because it's the Old Firm tomorrow, right?
I don't follow it anymore. I just don't really have that much time, or it's not time. I don't really care for anything else right now. But if it comes up, hey, I'm one of the boys in blue.
He's got the jersey in the closet just in case. No worries.
Drew Ashurst wants to know goals for the season, dream goal for the season, and a question which we'll want to know: will you play for Team GB next year in the World Baseball Classic if called up?
Yeah, I think that would be pretty fitting,
Absolutely, yeah.
And but ultimately, I just kind of take it step by step, regarding that and regarding my goals as well. Obviously, the big one is to reach the big leagues, but even bigger one is to stay there and not only stay there, but adapt and get to the highest level of it, and be considered for Rookie of the Year, be considered for All-Star. It's stuff that you think about as a kid. And if I do things right and I do things disciplined and not look at that and let it get in my head and shoot for it, if I just do the little things that are to keep me on track for that, then we'll see. And we'll see. I'll probably be up there.
Man, I think for us as fans, the team to have you also playing for the Phillies and Team GB next year would just be it would be beyond excitement. Where it'll be an absolute dream. It really would, to see a Team GB player playing for the Phillies and then vice versa, fishing the World Baseball Classic. That would be very, very special for us. But as fans, I know for you it being your stride, it's how it comes. But we've got one eye on that already as fans. A little bit of excitement already, and it will be this time next year actually in Houston for Team GB. Liam wants to know: Iron Brew or Coke?
Iron Brew.
Yeah,
that's the correct answer. Ovi wants to know: what was your favorite baseball field in the UK? Did you get to play across many baseball fields in the UK?
I mean, the field don't know if you call it field, but
Yeah.
we'd set up the fence where it'd be like plastic roll up, like the plastic roll up
It
fence with the
still is
holes in
now.
it.
Yeah, many. Yeah. Yeah.
We'd set that up as the outfield fence, and we just play on a football field. And we'd set up like this net for the backstop. Um, and I mean, the Edinburgh field, the Edinburgh Cannons field, and then the Glasgow Comets field. Those are the two that I really remember.
Hmm.
Did you enjoy playing up there? I can imagine the weather at times was pretty challenging, but it's
Yeah, no,
it's still fun, right? At the end of the day, everyone's got the same passion for the sport wherever you go.
yeah, no, I would set my clothes out the day before and have it right there in my bed so that I can wake up and then just like put it on, so I could just be ready to go, driving out to Edinburgh and play. But it was every like Sunday, and I just wanted to play. I just wanted to, you know, engage in the sport that I really liked. So I think that was the same thoughts as everybody else that were playing there. They're looking forward to picking up a bat. It's kind of like a Sunday league football game.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I used to play double A down here in Bournemouth, and I had the same buzz. The night before you'd have your kit ready, your bag ready. You'd have to travel on the road to Wales or to the southwest. A few hours drive, and it would be part of the fun experience. You travel up together. Okay, the standards completely way off over there in the States, but it's still the same principles. You're still doing it for the love of the sport, the same passion. It's played the same way. Everyone's hustling for everything they've got, and it's just I loved it. I do miss playing. I just don't have the time anymore. But it is the same. I find that wherever you go, wherever you watch baseball around the world, the passion is just the same at any level, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Question from Steve. He says advice for young kids playing baseball outside of the States where it's not the usual sport.
That's a tough one. I'd say just because the sport isn't as big as football, there's not as many scouts or people that can develop you in a way where you can play in South Africa to America to the UK or where Japan. I mean, if you go to Japan for baseball, you can get developed, But those are probably the two biggest places where you would have to probably go if you want to, especially develop in the way where you are required to develop if you want to play pro ball. I mean, Australia, I think is starting to,
Yep.
I have a couple of Australian friends who are really good. But if you're a guy in the UK, you're probably gonna have to find your way over to America, kind of the way that I did. But sorry, there's a
No, it's fine.
Yeah, it's keep the love of the sport, and you have the internet now. You can kind of mirror how you want to play after the players that are on the internet. That's kind of what I did. Keep that the drive to get better. You can get better over in the UK. It's just you really need to get exposed to organized baseball and live pitching. The plate discipline and the tracking of pitches. Like you can buy a machine, but the machine isn't gonna account for a quick pitch or a pitcher with a funky arm delivery or arm action. So it's that competition piece that really actually helps you go on to the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. The standard is, I know who he's on about. His son Remy, who I think is 8 or 9, plays at a really good level. So when I was playing for Bournemouth, I met Steve and his son for the first time, and he's got an arm. Like he's got a arm and a good batting stance. And I see on the Instagram there's a new development center built in London for the last couple of years.
No way.
Which it's just on the outside of Ealing. It's It's
That's
called,
awesome.
I think, the 108. Richard, you know it? The 108, is that the one? No,
I couldn't tell you, to be honest.
It was open.
I'm
It was
sorry.
open to the full London series last year, and it's a full-scale baseball field indoors with batting cages, a full facility.
The 108
It's the
is
108, yeah. And it's a brilliant facility, and money's finally been pumped into the sport over here. Team GB's success a few years ago in the World Baseball Classic really helped that, but there's the youth system's really developing at quite a fast rate. But yeah, it for the ultimate to really make it, that they're going to need to come find their ways to the States.
But you know what they say? They'll find you. They really will. Like it really is. I mean, Mitch Noonborn. Have you been teammates with Mitch? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
I call him Mr. No Hitter.
yeah, exactly. Right. So he really. You can ask him. You can ask. I mean, any of the Phillies have had a number of guys from Australia, from South Africa, from cycle through the system, and I mean, they'll find you. It doesn't matter where you are. They'll find you. So I think that's the coolest part of it all. But
wasn't Nick Ward Australian?
He was.
Yeah,
he was.
I'm
not sure if he was born in Australia. He might have been a New Zealander, but yes.
Ooh, don't get those two mixed up.
Yep. You don't want to do that. But yeah, there's been a bunch. And I think whoever asked that question, they will find you. Is the way that the saying goes. So just keep on your.
I see on his Instagram. Remy is grafting every day. He's posting videos every day. I think they built a makeshift batting cage in their garden. He's always taking drills. He's always up at the 108 at the academies. So it's good. Hey, let's get him over. Get him over to the Phillies side of things. Get him down to Clearwater. Gabriel, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for coming on, buddy. It's been great to talk to you. I really hope that when we go over, Richard, in June, we're going to catch you for the Phils, ideally. But if not, then hopefully at AAA. We'll let you know when we're coming, and it'd be great to say hello and meet for real.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Have a great season, man. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, best of luck, buddy. We're all rooting for you. Got a lot of people over here rooting for you as well. You know, we are. Your name's out there. Your name's out there. We're wishing you all the best, my man. Enjoy the rest of the spring.
Yeah, and then you can bring the Phils back over to the UK again.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, can you imagine? Oh, no, getting ahead of ourselves. Anyway, Gabriel, have a great spring.
Hitting a walk-off home run in the UK.
Oh,
that was pretty
no,
sweet.
Don't give him hope, Rich. Don't give him hope.
No, look, back to the present. Gabriel, enjoy the rest of your day. Good luck for this season. We're all rooting for you, buddy. Take care, my man. Thank you. Awesome.